What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 132, and today, guys, this will be Sunday morning for you. If you would like another episode of Career Mode today, then get this video to 1,000 likes. So put 1,000 likes on this morning's video, just like you guys did with yesterday morning's video, and I will upload another episode of Career Mode later on tonight, and that'll mean we've had 4 episodes of Career Mode in just 2 days. So 1,000 likes, there's your challenge, let's get it done, and let's have 4 episodes of Career Mode in just 2 days. But anyway, guys, we start today's episode off by seeing that Koulibaly wants to keep getting into the team because, of course, he had quite a decent start, the young man, but to be honest, he is never really going to be too much of a contender when it comes to the league games. And we take on Fulham for today's first game away at Craven Cottage, and I was feeling quite confident because he won quite a few games on the bounce, and I was feeling very optimistic about our chances here. And the first chance will come in the 11th minute as Daniel Sturridge finds Nelson Oliveira. He goes down the left-hand side, nice little reverse step over and shoots, but it goes over the bar. So still 0-0, but a couple of good chances early on, and that was one of them. And another good chance would fall in the 26th minute. Ross Barkley gives the ball to Fabian Schär, our defender, who skips past one, then skips past another. Some good dribbling by the centre-half, then a step over to get around his man. Wonderful piece of dribbling, wonderful burst from the back, but unfortunately the shot was quite tame, and it was straight into the goalkeeper's glove, so still 0-0 here. But in the 32nd minute, a good chance once again would fall, this time to Fulham. The ball was played over the top, and a shot came in, but Lloris made the save, so still 0-0 here. As we went on a break, Lamela lost the ball, and Fulham came back once again. Another really good chance here as the ball was once again played through by Kondogbia. Eventually the ball is played out wide. It's Williams who gets onto it, plays it through to Kondogbia. He ends up getting past his man, drills it into the centre. Williams' shot is blocked, and the shot is saved. And then the third shot was Ibarbo at the far post, and what a miss it was, because it was basically an open goal, and he couldn't hit the target. So a massive miss by Ibarbo. And although we had the first couple of chances in the game, Fulham had the best ones and they weren't taking them. But in the 45th minute, with the warning signs flashing, eventually Williams goes down the left hand side, gets past Kirikez way too easily, swings it across towards the centre, and Kondogbia wins the header and makes it Fulham 1, Spurs 0. So on the stroke of half time, it is the home side to take the lead, and you have to say more than deserved, really. Although we had the first couple of chances, it was Fulham who were playing the better. So Fulham take the lead here, and that is 1-0 just before we go into the break, so a very bad time to concede. But in the 56th minute here, a good chance for us to hit back as Corker wins his header and Sturridge flicks it on. It comes to Nelson Oliveira, who gets past Nathaniel Klein with the step over and strikes it from just outside the area. And what a finish it is by the Portuguese striker to make it 1-1, and we are back on level terms here. So I was determined to make sure we wouldn't lose for the first time in the league here at Craven Cottage. But in the 84th minute, another good chance for Fulham, and Nathaniel Klein with a big miss. The former Southampton right back and Palace right back with a great chance there, but he could only put the ball wide. So the game finished Fulham 1, Spurs 1, and yeah, I mean, I was relatively happy with it. We've won quite a few games on the bounce. We weren't going to continue it forever. Eventually we would slip up, and I'm just thankful we didn't lose the game, because there were so many good chances for Fulham, and you have to say, really, they probably deserved all 3 points, to be honest. But the fact we managed to get ourselves a point and maintain the fact we haven't lost in the league so far this year was the main thing. After that, we saw that finally we have a good international management offer. It comes from France, and we also saw that Sturridge is injured and will be out for 3 weeks. Didn't show it in the previous game, I'm sorry I couldn't find it, but Sturridge did get an injury in that game, will be out for 3 weeks, and Koulibaly was not happy he didn't get in the team. But yes, finally we have a good international management offer. It is from France, and expires in February. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stall that, and we will let some international management offers stockpile, and if France is the best one or the most interesting one, then we will take France. But for the time being, it looks as though we will be managing France. So France are like the safety net, you know. If we get a great nation that comes in for us, like Brazil, or I mean, France are a great nation, obviously, but if we get someone like Brazil or Spain, which would be a bit more interesting to me, then we might take them instead. But if we don't get any, then we'll take France. But one thing's for certain, I'll never be managing England, will I? It just doesn't happen. But anyway, here's a look at the squad report, of course, as we now into December here. And most of the players are increasing in attributes really nicely. It's very nice to see, and it's good to see most players have the green +1s and +2s and +Xs next to their attributes, and also the players continue to develop, which is very nice. There's only a couple that are decreasing in stats. One of those is Kumalo, but he's retiring at the end of the year, and one of those is Dawson, but I don't really mind that too much because he rarely gets in the side, and quite frankly, he just deserves to stay at Spurs until he retires, so I don't mind keeping him here. But yeah, the squad's looking good. Of course, 1 month to go before the January transfer window opens, and for the league table, we played 15 games. We have 10 wins and 5 draws, 0 losses, which is very nice. And we're in second place, 2 points behind the league leaders Chelsea. But most importantly, we are 9 points in front of Newcastle in 5th. So After some fantastic wins on the bounce during November, we are now in a very comfortable position, closing out the first half of the season in terms of a top 4 finish, which is exactly what I wanted to be in. So it's been pretty decent so far. We're in the position I kind of expected, really, which is good. Haven't been running away with it yet, haven't been falling apart either. So we're doing what we expect and we're doing what we want. We just got to keep this up at the moment. But anyway, we take on Braga here for the second game of today's episode, and we take on Braga. And of course, this is the 5th game of the Europa League group stage. Currently we're in first, Braga are in second, we've got 9 points, they've got 7, and Young Boys are in third with 4th. And to be honest, we came into this game and I'm so disappointed Braga Stadium isn't in FIFA, because anyone that knows what it is, it's an amazing stadium. But we came into this game, a little side note there, we came into this game and I was feeling quite confident, so that's why we rested most of the players. But I still really did want to win this, because I am desperate to qualify in first place. We will avoid playing a Champions League side in the knockout stage, a team that got knocked out of the Champions League. And we came into this game and the first goal would be scored in the 90th minute. Leao Gutierrez scored from the corner, which is crossed into him. He headed the ball into the, I was going to say into the back of the net, but he headed the ball over the goal line and the referee awarded a goal. And at first I thought that the Braga defender had made one of the most incredible clearances, goal line clearances of FIFA history. I thought it was absolutely incredible, because Gutierrez heads it and the defender on the line, he acrobatically kicks the ball away with the bicycle kick on the line. I thought he cleared it off the line. I thought that was one of the most amazing pieces of defending I've ever seen in my entire life, but in video game history. But unfortunately for the Braga defender, but fortunately for us, the ball did indeed cross the line. The replays didn't really show it fully, but as you can see here, the ball had indeed crossed the line. And it's a real shame, kind of, because although I was very glad to score, it would have been awesome to have seen that cleared off the line by the defender. But I guess I was just glad that we did get a goal, and Leao Gutierrez scores it, and we take a 1-goal lead here. In the 27th minute, another good chance for us. Danny Rose goes down the left-hand side and plays the ball through to Danny Welbeck. Welbeck outmuscles his man and skips over the slide challenge. Really, really good chance here. It's Welbeck who comes forward, but the shot is brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper on the 1-on-1. He tried to finesse it into the far corner, but a good stop by the keeper, and it's still 1-0. But in the 46th minute, just after half-time, we give the ball away, and Luis Carlos goes down the left-hand side for Braga before giving it to SGL. He plays it back towards Luis Carlos, who plays the ball to Rafa at the far post. He plays it into Juan Carlos, and Lloris concedes a penalty. And you can see by Lloris's reaction, he couldn't believe it, and I couldn't believe it either. I did not think that was a penalty at all myself. He's furious, and as you see here, Lloris closes down the striker, and he smothers the ball really well. And to me, like, is that a penalty? I don't think that's a penalty myself. In fact, why don't you leave it in the comments? Is that a penalty? Just put yes for penalty, or no, it's not a penalty, because I didn't think that was a penalty myself. But regardless, Raboila would step up, or Rabiot, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Rabiot steps up, and the number 9 unfortunately squeezes the ball in, and that shows you how hard it is to stop penalties against the AI on Legendary. What a superb finish by the number 9. It is inch perfect. It is seriously inch perfect. I mean, Lloris was actually sort of across his goal line towards the side where the penalty was struck, and yet he still couldn't reach it. It clips the inside of the post and goes past the French goalkeeper. So that was so unfortunate. I mean, again, I don't think it was a penalty, but I'd love to hear your guys' suggestions. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback. Was that a penalty or not? Let me know in the comments, because to me, I didn't think it was a penalty myself. Maybe I'm wrong, but even so, it would have been great justice for me, at least, if we managed to save it. But even so, in the 62nd minute, we had a good chance here as Braga failed to clear the ball away. It comes to Welbeck, who gives the ball to Koulibaly, and he hits the top of the bar. That was such a great chance. The goalkeeper was out of position, but unfortunately, the shot hits the bar, and it's still 1-1. And in the 81st minute, you see Danny Rose go down the left-hand side here, takes on Milinkovic, places the ball into the centre. Braga failed to clear it, and Alex Pritchard's shot goes wide of the mark. So still 1-1 as things stood with 9 minutes to go. The last chance would fall a couple minutes after that as we give the ball away, and Mauro plays the ball forward to Zetskov here. He has a good chance here. The ball falls to Rafa, and his shot is well saved by Lloris. So Braga almost stealing the win with just a few minutes to go, but thankfully they didn't, and we did indeed manage to hold on and get ourselves a point. So a point isn't bad, and as you guys will see in the next episode, that does mean we have automatically qualified for the next round of the Europa League. But to be honest, in that game, like I said, with that very debatable penalty decision, as I said, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions whether it was a penalty or not. With a very debatable penalty decision, I was still quite disappointed, because winning that game would of course guaranteed we'd be finishing in top of the table and going into the knockout stages and facing another Europa League side. But now is a possibility we could finish second and make things a lot more difficult for us. But anyway, the third and final game of today's episode, this morning's episode, is going to be against Millwall here. So we take on the side at White Hart Lane that we started the career mode with. So, of course, my favourite club, of course. I was coming into this game and I was, I didn't really know whether I was going to be not trying my hardest. Obviously, I'll be trying my hardest to win every game. I came into this game thinking to myself, should I be a bit lenient with Millwall here? Because I looked at their side and I was like, Jesus Christ, they have done no business whatsoever. I mean, their side looks basically the exact same since we left it. Only a couple of players have departed, and of course they've got Mertens, who we gave to them at Napoli when we signed Carrasco off them. So their side is just so basic, but they still play very, very good football. And as you can see here in the 8th minute, some nice passing to a Liam Trotter burst through the middle. And in the 9th minute, I was coming to this game thinking it would be quite a routine game. Millwall had the lead and it was the captain, the man who I made captain, Liam Trotter, who got the goal. And I was sitting there and just thinking to myself, my word, please tell me you're not going to be embarrassed. Now, our first league defeat against the side that I started the career mode with. What a finish by Trotter, by the way. That's why I love him so much. He's so powerful when he runs forward. That's a great finish as well into the bottom corner. So Spurs 0, Millwall 1, 9 minutes in. I was sitting there thinking, my God, this is just going to be an absolutely embarrassing result for us, and people are going to be debating the validity of it in the comments. But even so, the first chance for us was for in the 34th minute when Lamella's strike went miles over the bar, but from the goal kick McCarthy clears the ball up the pitch. Eventually the goalkeeper launches the goal kick forward towards the head of Danny Ings. It's Stephen Corker, however, who wins the header. It goes forward only as far as Liam Trotter, who finds Junior Malanda. What a ball over the top towards the Belgian, and Danny Ings is running clear on goal and he ends up hitting the post. So Millwall almost made it 2-0 in 36 minutes, and we were thankful that Danny Ings' finishing was a little bit off there. So still 1-0, but Millwall were the better side really. But in the 40th minute, a good chance for us to get back on level terms. Wickham finds Lewis Holtby, but his shot ends up going over the bar. So it was still 0-0 as things still with 5 minutes to go before the half-time break. And on the stroke of half-time, another great chance for Millwall here. Liam Trotter, the goal scorer, goes forward and finds Danny Ings. He strikes it, but it goes straight into Lloris's gloves. But after that, the Frenchman will throw the ball out and the referee will blow for half-time. And as we walk down the tunnel, we were losing to Millwall, the side we started the career mode off at, and I was thinking, this cannot be happening. This must be a nightmare, because this would just be an embarrassing defeat for us for our first league loss of the season. So at half-time, I didn't make any changes, but I decided to change my gameplay. I was being a little bit too cute with the passing. I thought I'd go for a more direct approach and try and just get ourselves down the centre a little bit more and just sort of run at Millwall, and it would work out brilliantly, because in the 46th minute, Barkley finds Nelson Oliveira, nice little fake shot, and a great finish by the Portuguese striker. So literally straight from kickoff, we make it 1-1 and we level the score here at White Hart Lane. So I was so determined not to lose this game. I really was. I did not want to lose against Millwall. I didn't want to drop points. They may be my favourite club, but I really do want to make sure we can keep on beating them, because it shows the progression of the series. But in the 64th minute, as the score is still at 1-1, Fernando swings in his cross, Nelson Oliveira goes for a header, and it's a great finish by the Portuguese striker. So 2 goals against Millwall. Alex McCarthy can't believe it, and it's Spurs 2, Millwall 1. So good finish by Nelson Oliveira, and it is 2-1 here at White Hart Lane. So the comeback is complete. And straight from kickoff here, Danny Ings gives the ball to Iago Falk, of course, who we gave to Millwall. Malanda gets challenged by Nelson Oliveira, who's playing so well in this game. Gives the ball to Eric Lamela, backheels it to Lewis Holtby. Holtby gets on the ball and gets past his man with the Ronaldo chop, then finds Fernando. What a superb ball out wide to Connor Wickham. Fake shots past one, crosses the ball in, the header goes up in the air, and Lamela's bicycle kick goes over the bar. So that would have been a lovely way to cap off what would have been a fantastic comeback, but unfortunately, Lamela's bicycle kick wasn't controlled and it goes miles over the bar. So still Spurs 2, Millwall 1 no, and to be honest, in the second half Millwall just did not threaten, and in the 79th minute Nathan Baker gives the ball away. It comes to Brian Carrasco, he gets past 1, he gets past 2, Carrasco's shot is saved, but Lamela puts in the rebound. So thankfully for Millwall, Carrasco would not score against them, but Lamela does score, and it's Spurs 3, Millwall 1. So we win the game, and thankfully we do not lose to our side, the side we started our career mode at for the first league loss, because that would have been really, really embarrassing. But as always guys, big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed this morning's episode of Career Mode, then don't forget 1,000 likes for another episode of Career Mode later on tonight. Let's get it done. 1,000 likes and another episode of Career Mode will be up later on tonight.